Alright, here's a topic for discussion. So who was it that decided that Adam DeVine, TJ Miller, and Pete Davidson are funny? And who also decided, it's probably the same person, that we want more of them? Because, to be frank, I don't find any of them to be very funny. I mean, Adam DeVine just overacts in everything that he does. It was like, it's almost like when Will Ferrell first came on the scene, he was kind of like doing that outrageous overacting thing. He'd make ridiculous faces, and he'd be very loud, make noises. And, you know, it wasn't bad at first. It was a short burst. And then he's kind of grown a career of doing other things, and he's been good at it. But Adam DeVine just does the same thing. I think that's his fucking name. The guy from Workaholics. He just does the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, how many times can you make that face? How many times can you do something that's ridiculously outrageous that no human being would do, and you're just going for a laugh? So, fucking boo to you. TJ Miller, I bet out of all of them, he's probably the funnest to, like, hang out with. I bet he's not a bad guy to hang out with. But for some reason, he just keeps getting put into movies, and he's the comic relief guy. And he's just not that funny. I just don't find him extremely funny. He's just kind of annoying. I saw a movie recently. With him, and I think it's called Underwater. And it was him, Kristen Stewart, who fucking stinks on her own. A couple other people, and they're on like this underground drilling thing, and they drill too deep, and aliens, and all that jazz. And it wasn't good. It's not worth a review. But he was in it, and like he was just kind of like the quirky guy who has the snappy lines and the, you know, brings some levity to it. But at no point did you see him as like an expert. And I'm kind of glad they didn't make him an expert, because I do get tired when it's like clearly the guy was a clown, but then he's got some knowledge that obviously was written for him because he didn't have any knowledge of that in reality. But yeah, he just didn't have a role in that movie. It was just like funny guy, but he wasn't funny. So he's kind of annoying me. I mean, he was alright in the Deadpools, but it wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination. I'm trying to think of other things I've seen him in, which I'm sure I didn't like him. But, alright, yeah, that's enough of him. And Pete Davidson is, like, anti-funny. Like, I've listened to his stand-up. Occasionally he's got something creative, a good joke. Yeah, I've seen his SNL stuff. You know, I think it's funny because he just looks weird. He looks like a weird individual. But I don't find him funny. You know, how many times I smoke pot a lot. It's like he's the guy that laughs at his own joke. And now there's this new movie coming out that I see the fucking, you know, the critics, the film news, if you will, pushing. Like, oh, it's going to be great. For the guys that brought you Knocked Up. You know, Judd Apatow. This is Pete Davidson. And I saw that Bill Burr's in it. Bill Burr's funny. So I'm probably going to end up watching it, but I don't think he's good. I don't think he's funny. I think he's kind of a dick. And, you know, maybe when you become that big of a star, it kind of goes to your head. But I don't know why, like, I'll go on Yahoo or something and I'll see, like, stories about him. I'm like, he's not even in the top 100 of current living comedians right now. He's not in the top 100. But I bet if you were to make a list, you'd put him at, like, top 5. So I think I think he's kind of like, he's a victim in it, because it's not necessarily as much him, it's as much people want to talk about him. And it's not even people want to talk about him, it's like news people want to talk about him. Like the media wants to discuss him. But nobody in the comedic world is like, oh my god, you see Pete Davidson's latest stand-up? See how funny Pete Davidson was on SNL? No. Nobody cares about him. Because he fucking stinks. So I think it's just more like the fake hype to try to make him a star. And people really underestimate, like, what promoting somebody can really do. Like, if he wasn't promoted left and right, nobody would give a shit about him. And he'd just be like another comedian that doesn't do very well. You know, but if you get like a promotion from, you know, the news every day, or like Joe Rogan or something like that, like, you turn into a huge star. If Joe Rogan tweeted out FCO Greg, I'd probably have more than 7 followers. You're getting past. I'd probably have more than 7 followers. Obviously, because it's Joe Rogan. You take his word for it. He's got millions of followers. He's the man. So, yeah, I think it's more Pete Davidson's just, you know, more of that than him actually sucking as much ass as I think he sucks. But again, all three of these guys, they may be cool to hang out with. They may be pretty chill guys, or they could be douchebags. But yeah, I just don't know why we keep getting more and more and more of them, because none of them are that funny. But you're not going to make a movie where, you know, Bill Burr is the star, or Jim Norton's the star, or, you know, Louis did his own thing, but obviously now he's persona non grata. But yeah, they don't choose funny people to do these things. They choose the people that they perceive as funny because they're clean cut and they talk about the right things, joke about the right things, they don't punch down and blah 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 blah. So I guess there's my rant. Levine, Miller, Davidson, fucking booze across the board. Hope y'all are well. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comments. If you think they're funny, comment. You know what? Comment with a link of something that they did was funny. That's what I want. I want you to comment with a link with something that they have done that is funny. Alrighty. Have a good one, people.